says, "What's the best part about being married?" And I said, "Well, I'm no longer afraid of death. I mean, I now welcome it." I said, "Can you imagine being married to such a cantankerous curmudgeon? It's a horrible thing to say. What a catastrophe." But for a long time, I repugned against marriage. Today I want to share with you, my fellow Toastmasters, a few things I've learned about marriage thus far. And it's been one heck of a ride, I can tell you that. I picked up a few things. Overall, what I found is that marriage is hard. I mean, really, really hard. I mean, before you even get to marriage, you have to crawl through the minefield, the swamp, the sludge-filled moat that is a wedding. A totally impractical event, which is very hard for guys like me. Because, let me tell you a little secret, guys like me, cheap. Just look at our tripod. Weddings are hard for guys like me for another reason. They're filled with emotions like love and joy and elation, while guys like me are filled with sarcasm, cynicism, and criticism. But somehow I made it through the wedding. I even did so with a smile on my face. I smiled at everything. There are photographs to prove it. I'll bring them in sometime. And once married, I realized I had 2 feet firmly planted in dry concrete. And it was time to get serious about making this marriage work. Lesson number 1. Learn your partner's love language. Suzanne's love language is in order: quality time, physical touch, words of affirmation, receiving gifts, and acts of service. That's all 5 of them! I only have 1! Acts of service. If you go up on the roof and fix the hole in the roof and do the dishes, you can have anything you want from me. Nothing else matters. What do you mean you want physical touch? We sleep together every night. You sit over there, I'll sit over here. It's fine. Words of affirmation? You need words of affirmation? That's what your therapist is for. I'm your husband. Lesson number 2, division of labor. Having unrealistic expectations of your partner is a surefire recipe for bad tidings in marriage. You need to know what your partner is good at and capable of doing, or interested in doing. For example, if you like a neat house, like I do, you have 2 choices if your partner is unwilling or unable, unskilled in this area. You come to terms with the fact that you're living in a mess, or you're going to be doing all the cleaning up. That's just reality. Which leads to lesson number 3, communication. Wake up, McFly! You're not single anymore. You can't just make statements. If you don't communicate excessively, you're in for trouble. It does not suffice to say, I'm going to the store. That's fine when you have roommates. But I've discovered it doesn't work very well when you're married. That statement, I'm going to the store, is densely packed with all kinds of other information. It needs to be unpacked, such as, I'm going to the store to get mangoes for the recipe that we're making for dinner tonight that I'm making for you. I'll be back in 30 minutes. Would you like to come with me? Do you need anything? Could I get you some tampons or lipstick? And more than communicating your schedule, it's important to communicate your feelings. Let me give you an example. We never go out anymore. All we do is stay home. You never take me on dates. I hear what you're saying, and it makes me feel like my current efforts are not being appreciated. Just last weekend, I took you to the Dollar Theater and the Dollar Store. And what more do you want? But that wasn't a real date. We only spent $4. Well, when you say that, it makes me feel like my love for you is measured in dollars spent. Since we're on the subject of dollars, I'd like to close with my first quarter report, which is sponsored by Dollar Rent-A-Car. Today's market events are led by deposits to the Federal Reserve Bank of Love, which are up 28% year on year. The foreign currencies of hugs and kisses rose in lockstep with rumors of a rebound in the travel industry, fueled largely by newlyweds. In related news, household debt is at skyrocketed record levels. I hope this newscast has been helpful to you. Thank you and good night.